Hello everyone. In this session, we'll discuss types of events. In this session, we'll see the types of events and how it actually helps. If we know the type of event, then how to approach and how to find the solutions. Let's see the first one as complementary events. So for an event, let's say A complement is set of all outcomes of sample space S which is not in A, right? So in a sense, if this is the Venn diagram, let's say this is sample space S and this is your event A, then everything in this sample space except this A is going to be the complementary A complement. So everything except this A. So since A complement occurs where A is not occurring in the sample space, we can say that A and A intersection complement will be 0 or phi or an empty set. That is, A and A complement has nothing in intersection. They cannot have anything in common, right? Similarly, A and A complement, the union is the entire sample space, because what is not in A is definitely in the A complement of this sample space. So that means together they will cover the entire sample space, but there's nothing common in between them. So the complement and A as an intersection has empty or zero elements. This also gives an expression. We'll see that. Let's understand this with an example of throwing a dice. If we are throwing a dice, now we know that the sample space is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, out of which if I am saying A is getting an even number, so this means it is going to be 2, 4 or 6, and B is like odd number, so it is going to be 1, 3 and 5, right? So we can clearly see when A and B are union of A and B will give you the entire sample space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, everything is covered, and intersection of A and B will be null or empty set, because there is nothing common between A and B. And therefore one more conclusion we can say, let's say we'll do it here. What is the probability of A? The number of events in A is 3 out of 6, so this is 3 by 6 equal to 1 by 2, and probability of B is again 3 elements, so 3 by 6 equal to 1 by 2. So overall you can see that probability A, obviously A and B are complement to each other now, so probability of A is 1 minus probability of A complement. Let's see the second one. Mutually exclusive events. Mutually exclusive events. So if two events, let's say A and B have nothing in common, or you can also say when one event occurs, the other does not. So when one event is occurring, the other should not, and there's nothing common in between A and B, obviously, right? In this case, A and B are also known to be disjoint. They are also known to be disjoint. Let's say this is the Venn diagram. This is A, this is B, and this is sample space. There can be another event also. I'm not making it now. So this is A, this is B, and we can see that there is nothing in common between A and B. So A intersection B will be null. What about A union B? It will depend on the data given or maybe the situation, right? So mutually exclusive means there should be nothing in common between them. For an example, again throwing a dice, we know the sample space, right? Sample is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's say A is event of getting a number less than 3, and B is getting a number greater than 4. This means less than 3 is 1 and 2, greater than 4 is 5 and 6. So obviously we can say, if you talk about A intersection B, we have no element which is common. So this is null. What about A union B? Well, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 elements are there. So this will be 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 5 and 6. These are the 4 elements which are in union. Let's see the third one. This is collectively exhaustive. Collectively exhaustive, as the name says, it should exhaust the entire sample space. That is, when an experiment occurs, one of the events should definitely be counted. Or otherwise you can say all the events together cover or covers the entire sample space. So you can say when a trial or experiment one of the event must count. Or you can say all the events should exhaust the entire sample together. That means if we take all the events together, it should cover the entire sample space, right? If we make a Venn diagram, let's take it for 2 events only. It there can be more than two events, of course. Let's say this is A event in case of sample space, and this is event B right? So what do you see? There is an overlapping between A and B, and overall this A and B is covering the entire sample space. We don't have anything left. We are covering the entire sample space with A and B. Obviously there are chances that we can have something in common between A and B, but it should cover the entire sample space. So the concern is A union B should give the sample space, right? Depending on the situation, A intersection B can be found. It can be any, depends on the data. It can be 0 or maybe more than that or something like that. We'll see an example on this and understand. Let's say for an example, it is again throwing a dice. I'm not writing the sample space now. We all know what is the sample space. Let's say event A is a number less than 4 and B is a number greater than 2. So a number less than 4 is like 1, 2 and 3. A number greater than 2 is like 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we can see that A union B in this case is the entire sample space. Why? 1, 2, 3 is covered here, 3 is repeated and 4, 5, 6 is also there. So we can also find A intersection B. There is only one event, which is one point which is coming as common, which is 3. So it is 3, or the probability is I'll say 1 by 6. Fourth one is independent event. That is, the probability of one event is not affected by the probability of another event in very simple manner. So it is probability of occurrence of one event given another event has already occurred is same as probability of that event individually, right? So what is this? Let's see one term first, then I'll explain this. Probability of A given B has occurred. This is nothing but probability of event A given event B has occurred. Right? In the sense, the probability or occurrence of one event has nothing to do with the occurrence of another event. So even if the other event has occurred or not, the probability of first event will remain as it is, right? So it is actually given as probability of A given B is directly equal to probability of A. Correct? Let's see one example. It's like if event A is getting a 6 in throw of dice and B is getting a head in toss of a coin, then probability of A given B is directly probability of A, that is probability of getting a 6 given there is a head in the toss is directly equal to probability of getting a 6. Correct? Because whether there was a head in the toss of a coin or not, the probability of getting a 6 is in the throw of dice is still 1 by 6. It's not like if there is a head, there are more chances of getting a 6 or there are less chances of getting a 6, right? So it will have the same probability as it had individually, right? Equally likely, it is like all the possible events have the same probability in the sample space. All the possible outcome or point has same probability. For example, if I say there is a fair dice, by fair dice we mean that all the outcomes have the same probability. So dice has a probability of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So the total number of events are, the points are 6. So the probability of any of this number is going to be 1 by 6. Similarly, for let's say unbiased coin. So unbiased coin means the probability of getting a head or tail is all same. So it is probability of getting anything, let's say X. This is 1 by 2. So getting a head is also 1 by 2, getting a tail is also 1 by 2. Sorry. Right? So this is the equally likely events. So that all the events or all the points or outcomes coming have the same probability coming.